Hey guys, Ryan over at 8160 Diesel. I had a lot of people ask me about the retrofit for 99 to 04 headlights, converting them to 05 to 07s. I'm going to be putting a set of these black housing Harley Davidson knockoff headlights on here, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. The tools you're going to need: 7/32 socket, you need a Phillips head, you need a long flathead pick, jumper harnesses, and then for the side marker you're going to need the straight ones. These can all be purchased off eBay relatively cheap or at a local O'Reilly's, except for the harness that you'll have to get somewhere else. You're going to need a grinder. I recommend a respirator, some safety glasses. We'll start with the grill. So the grill has 4 Phillips head screws across the top from the factory. We're going to remove these, and then on the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but right there's a clip. You're going to need to take a long screwdriver. You'll come in here, and then I don't know if you can see it, but you're going to push that up and then use your other hand and pull out very gently along. There's 4 of them. One there, and one here at this edge. So we'll remove the 4 screws and the 4 clips and get the grill off. Okay, so our grill's off. Now we're going to remove the headlight housings and the turn signals. I like to start with the turn signals right here. You're going to have 2. Let me get the light real quick. 2 bulbs, or 2 bolts that are 7/32. Depending on the year, they might be Phillips heads. We're going to remove those first, and then you can do it one of 2 ways. Once you get those screws out, they could fall. Generally, if they fall, they'll land right here in the bumper, somewhere in that cavity, or they'll hit the ground. Once you get that out, if you have a trim tool, you can come along the edge here where you won't scratch the paint and gently pry it. But generally, you can get underneath here and just kind of wiggle this out. Put one hand here, and just gently kind of rock it back and forth, and you'll be able to get that out. So I'm gonna get the turn signals off on both sides, and then I will show you how to get the headlights out. Also, having one of these pen magnets that extends is not a bad idea. You can actually put it on the screw while you're backing it out, and keep it from falling down. Once you get here, you're going to want to remove your connectors. So this is going to be, the harness will be taut. You're going to go and push it counterclockwise. Pull that bulb out on both ends. You'll do that for this and the side marker on both sides. Alright, so once you have those out, this is what you're going to be left with. Here's your housings. Like I said, counterclockwise, both sides. These like to stick a lot as far as these orange seals. We'll be removing these when we do the retrofit, and taking these L shapes out and putting the straight ones in, because they are the only way, that's the only way you'll get these headlights back into the housings, into the recess of the So our next part is removing the headlights. You got a tab here, and then it's kind of difficult to see, so apologize for the camera angle, but down here I'll kind of have to figure out a way to get that down there. So I don't know if you can see that little black tab there, but I will go get a long pry bar and show you. That tab, we're gonna have to push on both sides and work them in, and then pull the housing out. A lot of people break that. A lot of people break the whole headlight housing actually trying to remove it because they don't know that's back there. So we'll start here on the hooks and work our way up. So this is the pick I like to use. It's an L shape. And what you want to do is, I like to pry from the side. So I'll pry here, and then I'll pry over here. And you really want to just kind of pull the sides out. if you can, if you have a second pick or another flathead, something like that, that you can gently work and pull this up at the same time as prying each side out individually and kind of going back and forth, that'll help you out a lot. So I will get the clips removed on both sides here, and I will show you what that looks like when they're out. Okay guys, so I'm gonna try to show you this here. Basically, get a good enough angle. This right here is what you're going to want to be working on. So there's one tab over here, and there's one tab on the other side. You need to put a little bit of pressure on the headlight housing. Not a lot, very minimal. Okay. If you have a long screwdriver or an extra pry bar, do that. And what you'll need to do is push each tab in while keeping a little bit of pressure on this. And I'll show you once it's out how it looks. You know, it's just kind of a bear to get those out properly, but that's the way you do it. So I'll show you once it's completely out of there exactly how it works. Okay, here's a little bit better of a view. So that's the hole it sits in. This is the tab right here. So you have to push in on both of these sides, okay? So the best way to do it is push in one side, keep a little pressure on the back of the housing here when it's actually recessed, and then push your other side and just gently kind of push it out. Then what you'll do, counterclockwise, remove this, slide it back, slide the actual light bulb out, take your time, wiggle it out. This one probably hasn't been out for friggin' ever. There we go. And then you'll disconnect those two tabs right here. So gently lift up on them, gently pull back. They have a big tendency to break. And then put your light bulb and the connector back on as far as this piece that holds it into the housing. Okay, now once you have that done, there's your two tabs. This is what it should look like. Put your headlight bulb back in, put this on, twist it, get it out of the way. Okay. So now you can see that those pins that you were pulling on, there's two types, okay? There's one that has these little clips that kind of hook in, and they hook into this piece. They hook right into here on both sides, and you have to kind of pull them out and wiggle them up back and forth. Then there's a second type. Let me grab it here. Let's see if I can find it. This is the other style. Now this is what this 04 had. This slides on and it keeps tension like that, okay? And that, there's two of them, or the other one fell back, but those are what you have to put pressure on the headlight going this way and then work these up nice and slow. These like to get hooked or caught, so you gotta just kind of take your time and work with them back and forth. And like I said, push in on these two pieces. I'm going to do the other headlight, and then I will show you exactly where to cut and what to do. Now on this side, I can give you a little bit of a trick. You can see right down there, literally right over here down. If you look straight down, you see the hole that's lit up, and you can see those two tabs. If you have a long flathead, you can get in there, push those two tabs, put a little bit of resistance right here, and this will come right out. Okay, so once you get everything out, this is what this is going to look like. Okay, so we need to remove this piece right here. These actually just pull out, and then you'll have two push tabs that sit. Let me get a light so you can see. Sorry. Two push tabs that sit right in here. One there. One there. You're gonna need to get those out and take this entire piece off and do that on both sides. Okay, and those should come out nice and easy, just like that. Set them over here with everything else. So that is your turn signals, headlights, and these lower valence pieces. Everything should have came out pretty smooth. You should still have all your clips. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to prep this You want to get your harnesses out of the way. You kind of want to just get everything tucked back. I'll usually remove these, both of these, and just keep the harness. I'll push this back through, and I just kind of keep everything clear of where we're going to cut. Do that on both sides. Again, guys, this stuff's old, so be careful. You know, your best bet, as opposed to just pushing on this and pulling hard, take the time, take a pick, you know, get in there, lift that tab up, work this thing off, you know, use a little, you know, PB, don't soak it, but, you know, anything you can do to really loosen it up and just take your time. If you do that, use some electrical cleaner afterwards. You know, these have a tendency to get a lot of dirt in them, see in there. Clean that out. Take your time with your connectors, otherwise you're going to bust your tabs. You know, this is a truck from Minnesota, so it is, you know, pretty clean for what it is, but it's not the cleanest. So get that part done, and then I will show you exactly where to cut and retrofit the headlights. Okay, so once you have your harnesses moved out of the way, like I said, I got this one pushed down here, it's out. Push your turn signal one back in here, push your headlight harness back in here. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna cut this piece off, okay? Cut it flush. We're gonna cut this section out. It might take you a little bit. You might have to, you know, cut it in little rectangles and take your time and get it down. Do not cut the back side of this housing yet. You're gonna cut this down, and you'll have about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch before you're all the way down. Once we get those hacked out on both sides, these 3 pillars here, 1, 2, 3, I will show you what that's supposed to look like, and then I'll show you where to make your last cuts. Okay, so you should have that cut. That should be down to about there. That's there. Now here's what we're going to do on our next cut. If you want to, I'm going to kind of just draw a little line with my finger, but here and here. If you want to cut a notch out of that, I'll show you how that is. And like I said, I kind of do everything symmetrically, so that way it just all comes out real nice and easy. So that right there is going to be your cut. It's kind of a 2-step process. Like I said, you're going to be very careful in this next part. We're going to cut a piece out, so I want you to pay attention to how it's cut. We'll go back through and I'll give you a broad kind of overview of it, so you see exactly where to cut and how to keep this intact to where the headlights sit there and you don't have any broken pieces or anything wobbling. Alright guys, so if you do it right, and I've done a lot of these, but it all comes out as one piece. Okay, so that's the cut. Take your time and look at it. So when you're done, here's how this should look. Okay, so there's a little kind of cylinder tab. Here's how I cut it. I do 2 of them. This should all stay as one piece, intact, all the way down. You shouldn't be hitting any metal. If you do, it's okay. Like here, just make sure that you cover that up, primer it, spray it. That way no rust comes through. But that's the cut. So I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna touch this up, and then I'll mount the headlights and I'll show you exactly how it looks when it's all done. Okay, sorry guys, got a little busy there. Had a customer show up, so there's your 2 plates cut out. Here's what you got left. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect our new piece, and you're gonna wanna run both of these through here. Okay, so that's not gonna sit underneath like it did in the past. You're gonna have that right there. We're gonna hook this up, get your new one on. And this is what I was gonna try to explain to you, why this is important to do. When you look at the old one and the new one, the difference you have here, actually I think I got them still over here. Where are they at? Here. So here's the difference. So when you try to put that headlight in, this is going to sit pretty much right here. And if you have that angled one in, it can't get into the housing, and it'll bunch up and push into the side here. So make sure you change that out. You know, you can just put your turn signal back in. That's the same. If you want to put it in the housing first, you can. Here's the jumper harnesses, and these are really easy to do. Literally, it's plug and play. So that's for the newer 9006s. You just go right in. Here's your harness. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, but it's painful to watch. There we go. So that's why you want those tabs to stay. That way it locks in. And now you're ready for all your bulbs. I will hook everything up and show you how this fits. Okay, so depending on the kind and style you got of your headlights, some of them will come with extra clips on the bottom. Take those off. I'll show you what I mean. Some of them will come with these. Just remove them. You're going to use the ones that are pre-existing. And then, you know, you can run your own clips through here. I use push pins to hold these in. Just, you know, your generic plastic style. I'll show you. But what you'll do is you'll take your 7/32 bolts, put those back in, tighten it all up. And that is the retrofit. I'll get everything tightened up so you can see exactly what it looks like and all put together. But, you know, that's pretty much it. So let me get the screws in, push pins in, I'll show you the final product. All right, guys, so this is it. All finished up. There's your retrofit. Everything's done. Push tabs on the top. Bolts are all back in. Not the hardest thing to do. A little time consuming, a little messy. Let me show you guys what I meant by those push tabs on the top, just so you know. So like I said, just clean, simple, makes it nice and easy. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.